Okay, so now that I have shown you guys how to make the terrain, let's put a photograph on top of this so that you can actually look, it actually looks like a realistic mountain. So now let's go back into our orange button here. And before I go back, there's a lot of features here that you can use, and I wish I had time to show you every single one of them, but maybe I'll save it for another week. But the one I'm showing you for today is basically the main important things that you use to model sites. So now let's add the aerial photography into this project. And so we want to go to raster. Let's go back to our ortho imagery, and so you'll have this in your tutorial download. And so these are all the JPEGs that I downloaded. And again, I showed you how to download that from the National Map Viewer source. If you only select one, it's only going to open one. And so if you have a large series of maps, just shift select all of them at once. And click open. And it's just going to upload them all at once. And I have a feeling that this might be a little bit trickier because it might ask for a specific coordinate system. But let's find out. And I don't think that's the correct coordinate system, but we will see what happens. So it's going to save as ground imagery here. Then and again, your window won't be as small as mine, but if you click close and refresh, hit it, and maybe it'll work. So now that you see when we upload this aerial, voila, you have made a rendering of Yellowstone National Park. And how easy was that? Right? It was extremely easy to do. And right now it's a bit overexposed. And actually, if you go to the visualization tab here, visual effects, there's color options here. You can actually turn down the exposure a little bit. Right now it's 1.5. I say bring it back to 1 as close as possible here. There are some stupid colorized options like you can do normal, which is what you should always keep it on, but there's also grayscale, which doesn't mean anything, and sepia, which doesn't mean anything either. But keep it to normal. You can always change the colors in Photoshop later. But there you go. This is how you can easily model sites in Infraworks using 3D. And then again, you can export this out, render it, and you're done. Okay, so one student, Junfei, asked how to illustrate forestation and trees on sites. So as you see right now, there are some green areas here that have trees, but because it's following the terrain, it's not actually modeling the trees at all. Infraworks has actually a very fun tool. It's not an accurate tool, but it's a fun tool to model large swaths of forests. In here, there's a create features button here, and you can see all these features that you can add into Infraworks. And so Infraworks, and actually there's some good tools here. Infraworks allows you to model things on the site in a very diagrammatic but very fun way. And so Infraworks is primarily a civil engineering tool, so it's primarily about roads. So you see a lot of road and barrier and these kind of tools here. But there are some rudimentary rendering tools for forestation. So there's two options for trees, row trees and standard trees. Row trees is essentially a line of trees, and I'll show you what that looks like. So you click that tab, you pick a tree, and Infraworks automatically has a library of 3 models you can use. So let's click a tree there. Let's zoom into this like a road here. And this is kind of stupid, but it's fun. You can just click a line. If you double click, it ends the line. And it's kind of hard to see because it's so tiny, but you've basically modeled a couple of trees here. And if you click on the edit tab right here, there's a little button called edit. You can adjust the intensity of this. So this blue button here adjusts the height of the tree. If you click it once, you can adjust the height of all the trees. It kind of randomizes it a little bit to give it a more natural look. You can choose the height of it, so let's say feet. So you want to have 50-foot trees. Enter, and all can be changed size. And then the cool thing is there's a density tab here, or density. If you slide that left, you'll lower the density, but we want to have it rich, so you slide up to 100, and it just adds a bunch of trees here, like that. Right now it looks loose, but actually if you turn on shadows and the ambient occlusion, it actually adds some density to it. So those renderings I showed you of the bridge project use this method here to render trees, and I just made a swath of forests and got that effect in my model very quick. It's not I don't recommend this tool for I would not recommend this for doing this entire area of Yellowstone, because think about it, these are each individual meshes of trees, and if you do that, you're essentially just going to crash your computer. So be smart about how you do it. But click one tree and then click it again. You can select all of them at once. You can edit the features again, but I'm just going to delete this by hitting the delete button. Let's do stand of trees. Stand of trees, and you click, let's choose this red tree here, for instance. And then using this tool, you can select zones. So let's say you want to model a forest. Let's say you have an area that's just a bunch of trees and you just want to model a forest. This is how you do it. And you'd probably select a larger area than what I'm doing here. Double click to end it. And then you go. You have a forestation of trees. And again, you can edit the density of it, or you can edit the height of it. If you click one tree, it only adds that one tree. So you got to click that one tree, then click it again, then you get access to all of them at the same time. And again, you can just, if you drag this number here, you can just basically edit the height using that, and then you edit the density like that. The last thing I'll show you, so trees is one thing, the other thing is roads. So again, Infraworks is primarily a civil engineering tool, and so it's all about designing roads. And so you can use this to basically model streets very quickly and realistically. So let's say we want to have a simple street, sidewalk, and green space. If you click that option, then all you need to do is just click, and you see you have a little road map here. It automatically adds the kind of a turning radius to it. Let's do this actually. Let's go this. I didn't notice the parking lot here, but since we have it, let's do that. And you double click it to finish. Oops. So now you have a road, and if you zoom in, you can see it looks fine. Obviously at this scale, it doesn't really make sense. But the cool thing about the road tool is that if you intersect roads, let's pick another style. Let's pick this style here. You see it automatically figures out the intersection. So let's just do this just for a test. And double click it to end it. And you'll see now, if I just use the select tool to click out of it, you see it automatically models the curb of your street, because this is a civil engineering tool first and foremost. So if you really feel like modeling roads, you can do that in this tool. You guys are designers though, you're not civil engineers, so it's not, I don't really recommend you guys model roads necessarily, but if you feel like it, you can. And if you really want to be crazy and have fun, again, this tool is just for fun. You can build bridges across mountains and be weird and say like, I think we should design roads across Yellowstone because why not? And then you can anger the Forest Service and the ghost of Teddy Roosevelt, but who cares? He's dead and you're alive and we're designers. But let's say you want to build a bridge across this site here. I believe there's a bridge tool, if I'm not mistaken. Let's try to find it. Street stone bridge. Interstate concrete. Oh yeah, there's a bridge here. So let's try this. And whatever elevation you start at is what is going to maintain that elevation. Let's find an area here that we feel like destroying using infrastructure. Let's whatever. Let's click in areas. Let's start here, for instance. And you can, and you'll see you'll see the result after I click out. Let's just double click. You've basically built a bridge across the site, and it maintains that elevation. And you see what it does. It's a civil engineering tool. It basically knows where to cut through the earth to make your road. So if you are a crazy designer and you really want to do something like this and destroy nature's beauty, this is the tool for you. But it's fun. It's fun. So.